we've actually done, I think, almost all of our events since late 2020.
Yeah, since COVID, I've been to all of them except the US ones, I think.
Yes. And in particular, you've just done the whole Australian tour, and it's culminated in this 7-day residential retreat. What's happened to you through this journey? What happened? How have you changed?
Yeah, I can go through all the events. So the first one I went to was the weekend in Amsterdam, and that was like the one that opened up my heart chakra properly for the first time. So I noticed, like, when my dad gave me a lift back from the airport, when I came back, I was like joking and laughing loads, and then I was like, I've changed. It was like quite significant. Yeah, my heart chakra was like, there was like more love coming through. In these retreats, I think the main benefit I've noticed is like a deeper level of peace. And I know it's like a lot of third eye stuff happening, but it just seems to end up in just more peace. So my heart was like very open, but it was time to get more deeper levels of peace. So, and I was like a lot more grounded and rooted. Like, I think there's a 3-day event, and on the last day of that, he did like spiritual healing, and it was like the spirit of the mountain. And I just felt like so grounded. I was like, oh, this feels great. And then in this one, yeah, just like whatever he's doing, there's like lots of third eye stuff happening, and I felt like deeper levels of peace. And I noticed like I'm more sensitive to like the mantra. I was doing like the mantra for like an hour before every day, and like the peace is like coming through. So
have you seen a change in other people?
Oh yeah, I saw it like 2 days in, and some people like massive change. Like there's like, her name's Ida, and I was like, you're like, whoever you live with, they're gonna notice, like, because I know, like, you know, if they're not into spirituality, they might not notice things as much, but I was like, your face is like so much brighter than like. And the woman that has trouble walking, that after he did the soul blessing, it was like, and he said he removed like 10 years. I really saw that. I wasn't exaggerating. It was like, whoa. Because she was sitting next to me when we were watching the film. So I was like, saw her like just the day before. And yeah, so the amount of people was like just the physical side of it, like, and their faces glow. And then, yeah, I'm sure like people are a lot more peaceful as well. He's a really good mix. He's like really grounded. So some gurus like might go into all the mystical stuff, but he's like really simple and straightforward. So like if you just do what he tells you to do, you'll like get the benefits out of it. Like, it's as simple as that. Like for most people, it's just like having the motivation to actually do like the mantra practice or whatever meditation you choose. Like most people just don't do it. If you do it, you'll get the benefits. And like, yeah, he's really funny, so that obviously helps a lot. He's had like a Western experience of life, like to attain enlightenment, which I think a lot of gurus are in India, so it's not like relatable for people in the West. So the fact he's like always referring back to his life, and like, you know, he was once walking the path, so he had his own ego and stuff, and he talks about things that I'm not gonna share here, which were very funny, about how his ego used to be. So he's like very straightforward about that. He doesn't shy away from like how he used to do silly things that we all have done on the path, so to speak. Yeah, for me, he is like the embodiment of love. Yeah, it's just like so loving and caring, and that's just like, it feels lovely. So that like, I think he said in the Germany retreat, like just being with him like rubs off on you, because you like, this is like how to be a normal person without any of like the weird stuff that we pick up, or the conditioning and stuff. And that's just like how a person should be. A few people like, yeah, I said the one that can't walk very well, like, her face like is like, you see her in the queue, and then she's like doing it, and then she turns around and it's like 10 years younger instantly. And I was like, you can do that in like 2 minutes. Like, it's unbelievable, because like normally you spend like an hour, so doing 2 minutes, and it's like literally like change, like, you know, almost instantly. It's just like unbelievable. It makes life much more comfortable. Like, that's like the best side of it, because, you know, no one wants to feel like yucky anxiety and stress. So once you like clear that stuff out, and you know, you could just feel in your heart and just feel like divine love. It's just like, feels nice, feels peaceful. You know, it doesn't matter like what level you're at, just like come and get the benefits. experience it for yourself, because you will get massive benefits, even more so if you're new, because like it's like the more gunk you have, the more he can clear it out, because there's like, it's more obvious to find, and then when you become like more clear, it's like you have to pick it out a bit more. So yeah, if you're if you're like newer, it's actually almost more beneficial when you come, because it'll like open stuff up within you and clear out all the rubbish. But like, if you get an experience of like going to the retreat, and you notice like the difference, which you will notice on like a 5 or 6 day retreat, you'll 100% notice the difference. That gives you like the motivation to like keep going, and you're like, yeah, you're like, where's the limit?
Can you say one word to describe Master?
Love.